A quick overview of this Singer. I'm not going to run the machine, but it's a vibrating shuttle machine. So if I would rotate it, it's completely different than the bobbin case and hook assembly. Very different. Maybe it keeps actually less thread in there and it's more difficult to thread. It's not necessarily much different as a result, the way it seals, but it was a different concept. And I want to point out especially the design of these machines, because it's different than even the later bobbin designs from maybe 1940 or so, 1930, 40. It's just the way that Singer was looking at this machine at this era. I don't know about the model. Maybe someone in the comment section can help us. There is a serial number here. We have motor, and there is some information on the motor side as well. You have a few decals, but they are not that impressive. But look at these decals here. My apologies for my throat, it's going better in a moment. What I wanted to say here is that I don't know if the camera does capture it right. And by the way, it's very heavy. I'll explain in a moment. But look, perhaps from different angles, when I look at it, look at these lines here. So this looks like a rear bottom or something. It's really like a bulb here. And this line, it's so streaming. It's completely smooth, but also really has angles. There's nothing square, no sharp edges here. Look just at this angle as well. These, to me, also look at the bottom. So the bottom has round, but it's not really a circle. But also this line here, look how it goes. This is basically industrial design at its finest. Why? Because it's actually mixing three things. First, it's definitely aesthetical. And when I say aesthetical, you can watch it from different angles, and it's going to look always just not like just an object, a standard object. It definitely looks like something aesthetical, no matter how you look at it. Even these edges, look here, there is a round, it's not a sharp edge. So everything was clearly designed with aesthetics in mind. I think you want to see the front plate as well. I don't know how you would call these things. It's nice. This one, obviously, it's dirty, it has oil varnish on it, so it doesn't look that shiny. However, what I was saying, there are three things here, and it says Singer Manufacturing Co. at the top. This is the brand. Three things. First, the aesthetic part. Even this guard, belt guard, look at it, how it's all rounded. You see, I believe, in my opinion, people have lost this today. We're in 2025. Those who do industrial designs are actually their companies, because the industrial designers, I'm pretty sure they are people who like both functionality but also aesthetical, and they would like perhaps to do more. It's just that their company CEOs don't understand aesthetics really, in a sense of not just being attractive, but being somehow beautiful. CEOs no longer care about that. CEOs today, especially in big companies, care only about making money, and they don't let, in my opinion, the designers do what designers would prefer to do to kind of make your life more beautiful. But let me just go, I'm just taking a detour. Three things. Aesthetics, yes, that's one thing. First, second, it's also functionality. Functionality here, I would say, it's perhaps less apparent. But there is the third thing here is that you see when you do this kind of thin neck, basically what you are doing, you are removing material. You are making this cast with less material. You are optimizing your design. Why? Because obviously more material costs more money, maybe not a lot more, but it's always adding up. But also because of the weight, you are trying to save weight. Instead, we have just a long rod. So why make it wide when you can make it just slim like this? And if you save weight, you obviously save some manufacturing procedure, but also you save money in the transport, and maybe you care for the well-being of the poor guy who had to lift this inside the box and just shipping through trucks, ships, and so on. So it's all a whole procedure and process, and I think it was much cared by those times more than it's today. This one I would think it's around 100 years old plus minus. But speaking about this aesthetics and the design, this is something you no longer see on the later sewing machine, let's say from Singer or maybe even other brands. Access hole for nice, easy and precise lubrication, and I need to include the rear access hole as well. So why was this discarded in later machine? I do not know. Just putting a small plate like this, it's really not much more expensive. Just the time to screw this thing in place doesn't really add to the manufacturing process, cost production, but just to have a whole access direct for proper lubrication, this really ensures a better reliability of the machine. You may notice there are top holes as well for lubrication. Personally, I dislike those holes. Why? Because it's almost impossible unless you have something like a needle something, but I guess people, maybe they were having a needle when they bought the machine, but they lose those needles. So at some point someone would try to just place droplets in there. It leaks everywhere at the base. Oil is not water. It's messy. It's a chemical, and I think people are overlooking this fact that oils, no matter what they are chemicals. You don't want to get them on your hands, on your fabric, and so on. So these holes, and look at this hole here, I guess is lubrication right by the thread. This is not a good choice. I'm not sure why they put the thread pin here. Could put it some other place. Anyhow, all this to say that overall, I think the design in those times was just more careful, and I think also aesthetical. The result is there, and yes, I think you can enjoy working on these things. I just want to finish this video. Maybe let's look around here and just add this. Just look at the lines here. It's not square, it's all rounded, always rounded. It adds to the aesthetics. I was saying that I did say a lot of good things about these units. Yes, they are very heavy despite the material savings. Now the weight, it's not just a matter of reducing, if you see the geometry and playing with the geometry, but it's also a matter of the thickness of the cast. So my guess is the cast was pretty thick. Maybe because they wanted a stronger machine, they must have done their calculations. I just as an engineer, but this is really a wild guess, I think this was overkill, the thickness of the casting, but it's also likely the thickness of the casting, so think of the thickness of material if you want. It's also a matter of manufacturing procedure. Sometimes you have no choice to make a thicker cast, because during maybe the cooling process there may be cracks, stresses, internal stresses from the material, just changing a little bit in contraction. So they knew better, I guess. Depends, perhaps the manufacturing processes did evolve in time, which allowed them to reduce the thickness of the, if you want, of the piece that was being made. But I was saying, I'm saying a lot of good things about it. I have to say something negative as well, not because it have to be there, but because it stands out in my opinion. See, these things were most often times, at least in those times, designed for women use, right? This is a personal sewing machine. It's not industrial for manufacture. Black, 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 black. Only sometimes, I think in the 50s or maybe 60s, do we start to have other shades, maybe gray, maybe blue, or maybe green sometimes. In the Japanese units from Asia, you would start seeing more cream colors, but in those times it was all black, and frankly it's not necessarily bad or ugly, but I find it depressing at some point, at least from the point of view of choosing, having a choice as a customer. And I don't think it was really a problem to have other colors. It's not something from manufacturing cost or so. Now when you see perhaps old footage videos from even movies, if you want, from the 1910, 20, 30, which are going to be black and white, because it was black and white that day. Almost, if you look at the roads, streets, roads, almost all cars appear to be the same color, kind of the dark black, but it's not like that. Actually, the colors of the cars back then, they were maybe not very colorful, but there were several types of colors, white, red, and so on, maybe not yellow. All this to say that just painting items in more, I don't know, cheerful colors would not have been a problem. And yet, I think you name me someone else in the comment section, but in those era, 1920, 30, even 40, almost all sewing machine companies, black. For some reason. Was it psychological, saying it's something like a tool, and a tool, it doesn't have to be cheerful? I don't know, I do not have an explanation. Maybe someone knows, someone who knows the history of those engineering times, but yes, I so wish this would have been colored, painted in different shades. Thanks for watching.